This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to all entrepreneurs, from the person just starting up to the one that is already well established. My goal is to help you grow. I am your host, Isaiah O'Connor. So today I'm not going to have an official sponsor, but I'm going to be talking about our new subscription service. I now have set up a subscription service on buymeacoffee.com. Link will be in the description. If you go there, you can sign up for a membership. It's a $5 a month membership, and with that membership, you will get emailed when I post members only post. You'll get access to my O'Connor Bootstrap podcast membership only secret Facebook group where we will discuss business. You can ask for help. Will help you assess your ad campaign, advertising, pricing, anything like that. We'll talk about in the group and support each other in the group. Again, you'll get access to any of my blog posts when they go live. You'll get podcast transcripts, and we'll be trying to get my podcast transcribed and put up online there. I will also offer, if you have a business and you have a website, I'm going to do a free analysis of your website, its overall look, its message, is it clear, is it helpful for your business, not helpful, all that free analysis. You'll get 10% off of any of the services we offer on Atheoz.com. These supporters will get a shout out on the next podcast, and you'll also get a 1.5 hour free consultation. Oh, by the way, the 10% are on all services I offer on the Atheoz business website. So that is just $5 a month. It, of course, will help me produce more content, be able to, buy a new better microphone and continue to help you out with the free content. So yeah, it's a start. And if you sign up, let me know if there's something else you think I should offer within reason for a reward on the subscription service. So for a membership, you just go to my buymeacoffee.com. It's under the page of Bootstrap. It's just buymeacoffee.com/bootstrap. You go there, you'll find me. You can support me. You can become a membership and go check me out. It'd be really cool. I'd love to get to know you guys as well. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, today we'll ask a question that I don't think a lot of people think about. And it's an important one. I think it's very key to your failure or success as a business. Not that one is bad and one is good, don't get me wrong, but it change the way you look at this question may change how successful you are. And here's the question. Are you a person who sells a good or service that happens to be in business, that does something, that you sell something that you like to sell, or you provide a service that you like to provide, and you just happen to be in business because it's something you do? Or are you a business person who is working in your field? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, as you all know, if you've been listening at any time at all, I run a balloon business. And so my little business world is in the balloon world. And a while ago, I ran a little survey just for fun to see what people thought of when they looked up themselves as a person in there. And as I remember correctly, it's been a while and I didn't save the poll, that most of the people I saw in there saw themselves as balloon artists who were in business. Very few of them saw themselves as businessmen or entrepreneurs or anything else but balloon artists. And I've seen this in other types of groups. You can be a person who knits and maybe even make some money knitting, but you see yourself as a person who knits and happens to be in business. Now, this is just my observation. This is just not backed up by any data, any research. This is just my personal observation, which is this. A person who sees themselves as a businessman or woman, whatever, and does something that they like or love even, but they see themselves as a business person first, then they tend to be more successful. Now, again, as I've said before, I did a whole podcast on it. What is the measure of your success? It's successful as far as growth, the size of your company, how many people you employ, how much annual revenue you have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it's rather subjective what you deem successful or not. I've seen people who have been in balloons like their entire life, and then they retire. They're sad, but they retire, and they either sell their business or just close down and sell their stuff, and they're done, and they're fine with that. They're a little sad, but they're fine with it. The business doesn't continue after they're gone, which is fine. Their choice. Again, your choice. What you want to do is how you may be successful or not. But the people I've seen that have a balloon business and then they have multiple employees, they have growth, they get bigger, they're moving into bigger and bigger facilities because they run out of room, because they're growing so much, and they're doing amazing jobs. Of course, COVID really put the halt on a lot of this, but even then, one guy is bouncing back and he's gotten the whole balloon delivery, even through COVID, nailed down, and he's kind of making a comeback. And yeah, these people are very successful and pushed through. And these are the same people that I've noticed that have multiple employees, have networked with a lot more businesses, they've grown businesses, they've expanded, they've gotten bigger and better. They look at the business of balloons as, I'm doing business and I love balloons, so I'm doing a bit. So I could do, these guys, you could put them in any business and they'd probably be successful, quite honestly. But their attitude is, I'm a businessman who does balloons. I'm an entrepreneur who does balloons. They're not a balloon artist that does business. See what I mean? They're not a person who does hair and happens to run a business, which is just fine. If that's all you want to do, you want to have a little hair salon and you're the only person cutting hair and you're doing hair and that's what you love and that's what you're trying to do and that's what you do, that's great. That's fine. I'm not saying that's bad. But if you look at yourself as a person who does hair and happens to run a business, your focus will be on the hair, not so much on the business end. And my thoughts are this. If you are a person that loves what you do and has business as a kind of a, well, yeah, I'm in business, it's how I make my living, but it's kind of sort of whatever, and you want to become more successful at business, then I suggest you try to change your focus a little bit and go, hey, maybe if I look at it as I'm a business person who is doing something that I love or have great skill in, but if I start operating this as a business that provides a service and I want to grow my business, then you will find yourself thinking more like a business person, thinking more about how to advertise better, thinking more about how to hire people, how to grow, how to expand, how to bring in more customers, and really do a lot better. And I think this is important because I think this is the reason why so many small businesses fell upon startup. So many bootstrappers hit the wall. It's because they get really excited about the product or service they are offering and focus so much on the product or service, they let the business end starve to death, as it were. They could be the best mechanic on the planet, but be so bad at business and not see themselves as a business person that their shop goes under. Even though they could fix anything under just about any circumstances anywhere in the world, the best mechanic on the planet with no sales acumen, no marketing acumen, no business sense, who wants to start their own thing will fail. So if you love what you do and you see yourself as a person who, like I said, if you see yourself as a balloon artist who does business, you may be doing okay and you might be even moderately successful. But if you really want your business to take off, if you really want to survive and be there long term and make enough money to feed your family with, then you need to turn around and go, well, maybe I'm looking at this backwards. I need to be a business person first and then do what I love. If you do that, you're going to put more focus on business. You're going to start trying to work on how do I become better in my business? What do people in my industry that are successful do? What do I need to market better? How can I learn how to market? What's the marketing trends? You'll start paying attention to business. And the more you focus on business, you'll find the better you do with your own personal stuff that you like to do, being making balloons, cutting hair, whatever. And that's kind of the trick. If you can get the business done, maybe you can get enough people in to help you run the business aspect, so that will give you more time to actually do what you love, because you won't have to stress about marketing. You might get a person that can do your marketing for you. You might be able to hire that. And you might find that you like running the business more than you do actually doing the business. Something I kind of found out myself. I like doing balloons, but the more I'm doing the business, the more I'm getting into the world of business, I find the business just as fascinating as doing the balloons. Yeah, it's different. And I do love getting my hands on those balloons, building stuff, making things that are amazing looking for people to look at. It's always fun. But when I've shifted my focus from a person that does balloons trying to run a business to a business person who does balloons and now a podcast, that really changed my perspective and helped me really step up my game. And this is fairly common that I've seen, where people think one way or the other. It's very common. Either you're a person, here I go, I'm repeating myself, that is like, oh, I love making ice cream and selling ice cream, and I just happen to be in business. Flip the script, focus on the business to become more successful. Now, with that, just a little preview, one of the ways you can change your mindset, it's who you hang out with. And I'll do a whole nother podcast on that. It's a fairly well-understood principle of you are who you hang out with. You are who your influences are. So if you want to be a great balloon artist, you follow and hang out with great balloon artists. If you want to be a great business person, you follow and hang out with great business people. If you want to do both, you hang out with both. So if you want to be a great magician, cool. But if you want to be an amazing magician that is very successful, you might need to know the business end as well, so that you can book the events, get the birthday parties, get the stage shows. Yeah, you can get a manager, but you often have to do it yourself to get yourself to the point where you can hire a manager. And it's a progression, and you have to do something you love. I think that's important. You have to be able to be passionate about it. I've talked about this. But if you're going to start a business and you want to be passionate about it, make sure if you want to really grow it and get to the point where you don't always have to work in the business and be able to take vacations, then you need to focus on the business end. And that's another thing, is if you're a person, say, let's change up a little bit, say you're a confectioner and you specialize in wedding cakes and you can make amazing wedding cakes and you're really good at it. And you have people coming to you from all over the place to buy your wedding cakes. You sell them at a premium and you work your tail off and you get a great customer base. You market well and you're very, very busy. If you focus only on the fact that you're an amazing cake decorator, what have you, one of the drawbacks is if you're not focusing on all the aspects of the business and working to build it up, you might find yourself stuck working yourself nearly to death. You won't get vacations. It'll be hard for you to take time off. People will be upset if you take time off and they want their wedding to land right when you want time off, but they really want your cake. And then there's, well, I'm doing the cakes and it's really good, but maybe I need to grow because I'm not making enough money, or I need more money to work on accounting and marketing. Yeah, it gets crazy if you see yourself as a cake maker who does business, because it's harder. I know, because I was a balloon artist who did business for a long time. It wasn't very successful when I was doing it that way. Matter of fact, I called a friend and emailed a friend in a panic, utter panic. Help, my business is going under. I have no clue what I'm doing. Help me. And they weren't actually able to help me. I took a different business course, which helped. I've talked about that before. But in that desperation, I had to go from being a balloon artist that does a business doesn't work. So I need to be a businessman that does balloon art, and change my perspective. And my success was drastic when I started focusing on business, focusing on marketing, focusing on sales, focusing on getting those customers. That's when I saw the drastic jump in sales from like 10 or 20,000 kroner a year to 75, then 100 and some odd thousand a year. Drastic jump, because I shifted from just being a balloon guy that did business into a businessman that did balloons. And another thing is if you think like a business person, you can start thinking about having employees, hiring, training, and building up a team to work for you. Even if you're a world-class cake decorator, you can still train up people to do what you do. You can train up people to be almost, if not as good as you are, and have them work for you. Now, the reason you want to do this, again, think like a business person, is if you think like a business person and look for ways to bring in employees, you will do a couple of things. First and foremost, you will provide for someone else's family, or just them to grow and be able to get to a point where they can go out and start a family or save up money, and you'll help another person. Always great to help another person. Second of all, if you can get a person trained to do what you do, that little thing, that little balloon artist, that cake decorator, that baker, whatever, then if you can get them to the point where you can trust them to do what needs to be done, you can actually get time off. Yeah, I know, bootstrappers don't usually get a lot of time off. You work your butt off day and night, night and day. And you're going to eventually need help, or you'll burn out, or you'll get health problems that will stop you, or you'll get grumpy and start hating your customers. I've seen it happen because you get burned out, because you push too hard, because you don't have any help. But part of that is, if you look at yourself as a balloon artist or a cake decorator or a confectioner, whatever it is you're doing, a hairstylist, and then a business person, then it's really hard for you to let go of control for someone else to come in and help, because you're identifying with what you do so much that when you're not doing it, you don't feel right. But if you're a business person who identifies as a business person, then it's easier to give up control and you won't have to micromanage. Easier to do, not completely easy, of course, especially if you're a person in a creative business where you can become a perfectionist. But if you're looking at it as a business, then it's easier to let go of control. It's easier to bring in help. It's easier to get other people to work for you so that you can be freed up to do other things. And then one more thought on this. Say you're in a position like I am now. Your business was going along great and moving right along, growing, and then something like COVID-19 hits. Yeah. Year to date, I've only taken home around $800 US. That's it, because of COVID. That's a massive hit in business. That's nothing. Year to date, here it is, 2nd of September. I'm recording this. It goes up tomorrow, or the 4th, whatever. But almost all year, I've only made $800 because of COVID. This has been a hard year for the balloon industry. There's a lot of industries, but the event industry and balloon industry has been really hard hit. And again, I've been working on trying to find ways to come out of it and get more customers in other spots, of course. I'm fighting back. I have a comeback plan. But what do I do if this keeps going on and I can't get my business back up to steam? What do I do? Well, if I just saw myself as a balloon artist who did business and only focus on the balloon art, then I'd be in trouble. Then I'd go get another job, or which I still will have to do, I think. But I would be probably thinking, oh, I need to just go get a job like in a restaurant or something, minimum wage, something just to get something going. And if you have to go get anything just to cover make ends meet, do it. Of course, do what you have to do. But with my business struggling here, maybe dying, if you look at yourself as a business person, well, guess what? You've now been working on the skills that you can apply to a different business, a different industry, something else. You can use your skills and your knowledge to go into anywhere else. You've now equipped yourself with the most effective job security on the planet, and that is knowing how to start and build a business. And it's inside your head, and that knowledge does not rely on any economy, does not rely on any particular situation. You can use that to find a way to come back from any disaster. But you have to think of yourself as a business person who does something else. And you can love what you do and even think of yourself as an amazing balloon artist, but you have to think, I'm a business person who is an amazing balloon artist. Not an amazing balloon artist that does some business because I have to. Yeah, it's a slight mindset change. It's a paradigm shift. And I'm not saying it's bad to think of yourself as a balloon artist or cake decorator or whatever you do. It's not bad to think of yourself that way. But if you look at it as I'm a businessman that does something I love, then if something happens where you have to change, well, you can find something else you love or can become passionate about and go and start up again and kick butt again. It's a mindset thing. And again, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to grow, you don't find your success as growing and everything else, and you just are happy doing what you do, again, that's completely fine with you because the measure of your success is completely personal and up to you. I don't want you to feel bad if you're like, well, but I love being a cake decorator. I don't really like doing business, but I'm listening to this podcast so I can do a little bit better in business. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But I'm saying if you want to grow, if you want to become more successful, and if you want to be able to kind of set yourself up with a backup plan, then my suggestion is do what you love what you do, but look at yourself as a business person doing something you love. Simple, it seems, but it's very important. And again, if you want to ask me more about this, if you want to get some advice on this, how you want to do this, I do provide a free half-hour consultation, but also now, if you sign up, really helps my membership program on buymeacoffee.com/bootstrap. Then you can sign up and you get a free hour-and-a-half consultation plus access to the private room where you can ask me questions in the group and we'll chat about it and we can help each other out. So come check it out. I'd love to see you guys. Membership will really help. I'll be able to produce more and more content as we go. Anyway, you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Remember to get your free half-hour consultation by using our contact page and the links below. If you found value in this content, please give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. It is very helpful if you share this with your friends. If you'd like to directly support this podcast, I have a few donation links in the description, or you can check out the show sponsors. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, which is an Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For our companion podcast, the Atheoz Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair. Our past episodes and related blogs, you can check out our website at www.atheoz.com, which is www.atheoz.com or atheoz.com. Remember, you can also check us out on the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group, where you can interact with me and other people who are bootstrappers and entrepreneurs. The link is in the description. Come check us out. I would love to interact with you. And until next time, I'm your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor. See you later.